try pouring a little bit more in. Skimming some of this aluminum off the top. Let's hit this with a hammer. Oh, one of our... Now, I'm gonna try and break a piece off of this dry ice. It's gonna flow all over all of it. All reservoir in our dry ice to pour the salt into, so it doesn't just scatter all over the place. So it's still possible to get there, but even the salt that's just on our pavers it's almost as thin as water, it seems. Dry ice ended up casting that puck. I thought that was pretty neat. I think it just made it cool salt weld. That was pretty. We've got 2 more experiments that we want to try, and we've moved. Because I'm not really sure how this is going to react. Overall, this is pretty fun. Thank you to Robert for your suggestion. Tip that out. Click down there if you want to see what the internet thinks that you should watch. I'm not just going to be dipping this directly down into the salt. I don't really think it's going to explode because neither the dry ice nor the salt will vapor. All right, now I know the dry ice. Well, we've got our foundry, we've got our salt, and we've got some dry ice. Let's try mixing them together and try and carve a hole down into the ice just a little bit. First step, what we want to try and do is clean out our crucible. Salt that built up on. When it's going down into the crucible, I have a molten salt pours out of a crucible. You're near the violent kind of a reaction. And of what we should do, check your YouTube inbox. We're going to be sending you 20. Will cause that to break open. So I do want to stay a little bit away, and that's why there's just so much. Now as a top, it's just melting more aluminum. As it goes. Form a shell, and then the expand down. So it's like, all right, $5. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber yet, just hit the bomb to get in the club. If you missed our last video or want to see it again, click up here at the top. That we've seen in other people's channels where they pour quite a bit, and it's just interesting to see. Starting to slow. I think I expected a little bit more of a reaction, but it is possible that some salt will cool down around the dry ice. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This is probably filled with aluminum and some other trace metals. Puck's broken half. See how well. Appearing a little bit faster than if you just left it out. Molten salt versus dry ice. The molten surprise of all surprises. Salt. See what happens. To some molten salt. Hey guys, I'm Nate. Welcome back to the backyard. Today we've got a fun experiment that we're going to try. Salt didn't react terribly violently, but it did bubble and splash. See what happens if we drop this dry ice. Exploded. Now it's rock salt. Flat piece of dry. Very hot. To the dome, just in case it's cooled down to being solid. Looks like our salt. Oh, we would get actually. Didn't react a whole lot. We got much more of a reaction when we put it in. What I'm gonna try is to take our salt and then pour it onto a container with a solid piece of dry ice that had a hole bored down into it. We got vaporized rapidly the same way, a lot of bubbling and popping, and it did stay in that chunk of dry ice. Well, it's certainly next. That's it for now. Have fun. We do want a small. We're gonna. I certainly wouldn't want to get that on me. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. Have a residue from other projects in them. This one seems to have quite a bit of. happens if we pour molten salt onto and see if we can melt out the rest and shake it out so we have a bubbling well. Action when that poured on. Bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. Kind of. I wanted to know what would happen if we mixed molten salt with either liquid nitrogen or dry ice. Well, that's kind of cool. It's got like a... And then I'm gonna use this extended grabber thing to hold the 3, 2, 1. Oh dear. I think the dry ice is that looks toasty. Salt as a liquid, it pours. There it is. Ready? Not a lot. It's a little bit thicker, and it was poured second, so that makes sense. Vipperman. Robert, I'll take the dry ice and secure it in a pair of tongs. Today is not the day for the... Thanks to the suggestion of YouTube user Robert, violently at all, at least not yet, I guess, to dip it in there and keep myself a little ways away. Pretty runny, thin liquid too. Like, it doesn't turn into a consistency like syrup or anything like that. Normal ice would. Tongs have become salted together. Pretty fun. We got a lot more bubble to form on the inside as it cooled off. My tongue. Definitely hasn't cooled down all the way. Plan for how to pour salt into water. All right, here we go. I'll take the crucible. I'm just gonna pour it all over that dry tongs away from myself. But it's nowhere. Not even a lot, just a little bit of bubbling. It's very smooth outside, but you can see the crystalline structure. And then try our next experiment. Huh. Well, it's cooled down. It certainly bubbled a good amount. Mostly clean crucible to melt our salt in. It's spilling all over our container. It's quite a bit more of a reaction than I thought. I'm sorry. So let's melt up some more salt. All right. And I'll dip that down into the crucible. It's salty. There you go, a nice solid chunk of salt right there. Liquid nitrogen test, but it is the day to see what... But it didn't react horrendous. Bubbling action than I really thought. The last thing we want... But I'm gonna lick it. That has a hole bored into it. In this case, there's just going to be lots of pieces, and it's just down. It's now just floating on the top of the salt. In case things get out of hand, which I don't think will be a problem, but better safe. Inside our dry ice has as well. Let's see if we can. All of the crucibles we've got currently have. I think the salt in our crucible is still liquid. Ooh, middle of that is still squishy. Be safe and see you tomorrow. Full of broken up dry ice. So it's not just pouring it onto one. Pours very smoothly. It's a... All right, now this is finally cold. That one's a little less cold, but it's also... Let's take our drill bit. This could be exciting. Also very hot. Still both very hot. Dry ice. The salt poured all over chunks of dry ice. Whew. Aluminum built up on the sides. So we're going to try and chip out what we can, then fire up the foundry from the tips. And then it was in contact with the dry ice. So
I'm poopy. 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 I am poopy. I'm 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 poopy.